I remember when Jack and I broke Mrs. Pinsky's big ceramic flower pot, and you hid us in the basement.
What?
Now,
He covered for you? Gramps! And that old witch was a pain in the ass.
I think in the last two episodes, Danny's obviously going to be dealing with a really massive case that needs to be solved and resolved, but also a lot of personal stuff. I think overall, not just for Danny, just for the entire cast, there are a lot of questions that audience members have had for a long time that I think will be answered, if not teased in a way that will give you answers for where people's lives may go in the future. You know, it's been discussed by a lot of people, not always by the show itself or the writers of the show or even Marissa Ramirez and I, but I think the audience at first was reluctant for a possible Danny and Baez relationship because of the loss of Linda. I think that was very traumatic for the viewers. It was also very traumatic for me personally, being a friend of Amy Carlson, and you know, for the show. So I think for a long time everyone was very reluctant to even consider such a thing. But I think as the show is winding down, it's become clear that they have a special partnership and a special bond. And I don't know and won't say whether or not there will be or should be a relationship. I will only say that the final episode will make a lot of people smile. That's all I'm saying. And cry, but also smile. I don't want to give away too much about how the show ends, but I will say the show started with family and it will finish with family. And each member of the family has a lot of personal questions and things that they need to resolve. And Danny's future love life will be discussed and explored. So yeah, maybe not as much as a few other characters in the show, but Danny will receive some sage life advice from his favorite Reagan, which is Grandpa, and we'll see where that leads him. The last day on the set of Blue Bloods was a lot of tears, I'll say that. My final day was in the squad room where Danny and Baez film most of their scenes, and you know, Tom Selleck doesn't come to the squad room ever. I don't think he's ever been in the squad room, but he came that day to watch us film the last day of the show. And you know, seeing him there and seeing the emotion on his face, just it turned on the waterworks for me. It was very emotional, and I would say more gratitude than sadness. But there was an element of sadness, of leaving a family, not just the on-screen family, but the off-screen family of the crew that we had on this amazing show. It's hard to let go of that and to say goodbye to that after 14 years. The relationships, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I kind of went on tour with New Kids on the Block right after my last day of filming, and I got to sort of bury those emotions for a while, but now I'm back promoting the final season and it's all right there, and I have to kind of reopen that Pandora's box of emotion right now, and yeah, it's a lot. I'm still processing it, to be honest with you. It was a very spectacular 14 years, and also 14 years that went by in the blink of an eye, so it will take me some time to really think about all of it and reflect on a lot of things, and I'm sure I'll remember things now in some downtime that I haven't even thought of because I've been just so busy and going nonstop. So yeah, maybe I'll write a book about it. You know, filming the last family dinner was probably the single most emotional day on the Blue Bloods set in the history of the entire show, and that's saying a lot because we've had some emotional days that followed, but You know, the first scene we ever filmed in the history of the show was the first ever dinner scene, which was kind of like getting thrown right into it, right? It was like a lot of us didn't even know each other, and it's like sit down and fight like you've known each other for your entire lives, and we did it. And it set the tone for what that scene would mean to all of us, professionally and personally. It was a chance for us to get together, to get to know each other, and as we got to know each other, to reconnect with each other and to learn more about each other every single time we all sat around that table. So you can imagine the last time filming it was, yeah, it was heavy. There was, I will just say, with 200 crew members, the entire cast that was there, executives and different special guests we had, there was not a dry eye in the house. Danny Reagan, he got a lot done in 14 years. I'm not sure there's anything other than I would like to have got Joey McIntyre from New Kids on the Block in an episode. That one's gonna haunt me, because he's never gonna let me live it down. We tried to get him on the show a bunch of times. You know, he's a busy guy. He's on Broadway, he's doing solo records, he's in the New Kids, he does TV shows, he does it all. I never got him to do Blue Bloods. I know for certain that the New Kids on the Block fans are Blue Bloods fans. I've tweeted pretty much every single Friday in the history of the show, along with New Kids fans for Blue Bloods. And they led the whole Save Blue Bloods campaign. They told me every single day on tour that they don't want the show to end. And when people say they have the best fans in the music business, I know the New Kids have the best fans in the music business, because they've also become the best fans in the television business and the movie business. Anything we do, they support us relentlessly. And it's one of the things I'll miss most about Blue Bloods is, you know, putting the episode on a Friday night, getting on social media and tweeting or whatever, corresponding with all the fans on Blue Bloods Fridays. It was one of the things that made the show most fulfilling for me. Spinoff? What? Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about spinoffs, about various spinoffs, all types of concepts of spinoffs. For me, personally, I would say whatever happens next, if it's done with the spirit of Blue Bloods and done with the care that we tried to put into Blue Bloods every week, it would be something that I would look forward to watching or being a part of, either way. Yeah, I've heard stories of prequels, sequels, you name it. But for me personally, I love the show. I've enjoyed working on it for 14 years. And like I said, whatever comes next, as long as it has family at its core and, you know, has the spirit of Blue Bloods, then I'm all for it, whatever it is. Well, there's a final season of Blue Bloods still to air, so I'm looking forward to watching those episodes with all of my incredible fans of the show, and tweeting with them every Friday night for every final episode. And I think after that, we'll see what happens next. You know, spin-offs, sequels, it's all good to me. I think what I do know is there are millions of people who love this show and want it to continue somehow, some way. And, you know, if there's a way that we can give them some extension of Blue Bloods, then great. I have nothing more to offer than that, but I will be enjoying the final 8 episodes with the fans. That's my priority right now.